address. Some senior members of government include the presidential advisor for finance or the economy, Seth Tekpe. We've seen the presidential advisor on legal affairs, Madam Mareta Brew Opon. We've also seen other high-ranking members of government make their way here. We've also seen some members of the civil society also present here, as well as the clergy and other traditional leaders. So it's been very colorful, it's been very busy. I must also add that security is heightened here at the parliament, where the president will be delivering the State of the Nation address pretty shortly. But Jifa, I've been joined by some members of parliament who will be sharing with us their expectations ahead of the president's address. I've been joined by member of parliament for Ahanta West, Madam Mavis Kukwa. You can come closer. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Channel 1 TV.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for engaging me. Yeah.
Great. So the president is expected to deliver his first State of the Nation address today. For yourself as a first-time MP, this is also your first time you are going to receive the president. What are your expectations for the address today?
Good morning again. I say my expectations are what Ghanaians are expecting, because there's been a lot of issues previously, as we all know. I don't want to just mention them one by one, but hopefully after today's SONA, there's going to be the resetting that our president is talking about is going to start from today. So hopefully prices are going to come down. Galamsey issues that are causing devastations in our communities are going to come down. Like, things are going to change. So that is my expectation today. Like, the economy is going to reset itself from today, as we are all going to work hard towards it.
Not long ago, I saw a meeting of the Western Region members of Parliament caucus with the Lands Minister. I'm sure issues that came up had to do with dealing with the illegal menace of Galamsey. A lot of the public and also civil society have called for the revocation of licenses or mining activities in forest reserves. Should we expect the president to delve very strongly into Galamsey and also mention some initiatives being taken to address this really huge problem?
Yes, hopefully we are all expecting that, because Galamsey, the illegal one, is actually destroying a whole lot of things in our communities, causing problems. When I say I am more concerned about the health issues that it brings into our communities. So with young boys dying, getting ill, teenage pregnancies, and it's all coming out of these Galamsey issues. So hopefully today's address would be very strict about Galamsey. As in, we need to move from illegal to legal. So you get a license before you can mine, and then you mine at the right place where you don't destroy somebody's farm or the water body or a forest reserve or something. So hopefully that is also going to come out today.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Grateful for your time. We'll be hoping to speak to you after the president's address. So you heard for yourself, Honorable Mavis Kukwa, who is Member of Parliament for Ahanta West, sharing with us her expectations for the president's address today. But Jifa, I've also been joined by Member of Parliament for Bongo, first-time MP, lawyer Honorable Bawadria, who will be sharing with us his expectations for the president's address today in Parliament. Honorable, thank you for joining Channel 1 TV.
Thank you and good morning.
Great. The president is expected to deliver his first State of the Nation address for his second term. He campaigned on the message of resetting Ghana. Not long ago, late last year, we also heard the outgone president deliver his final State of the Nation, where he mentioned that the country is heading towards an economic overturn, trying to sell the message that things were getting better. Do you get the impression that indeed the economy has turned and things are going to get better?
Well, I think that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, upon assumption of office, have made utterances to the effect that the economy is in serious trouble. And he said, not only is it in serious trouble, but at criminal levels, the level of destruction of the economy. So I expect that His Excellency will give us some more detail of what he said about the criminality or otherwise of what has happened during the last regime, a little bit of it, and of course to give us an indication of how he intends to come out of it. I believe that whatever it is, this country expects that the economy must have another turn. Whether we like it or not, we must have, because it's the reason for which they voted for us. And we should have no excuse to say that because of the current state of the economy, we are unable to turn it over. So I expect His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to tell us some of the things that he intends to do, give us some indication. I believe that the major details of how this will come about will be in the budget when it is read subsequently. But some baselines based upon which we should have hope that there will be some improvement in the economic life of Ghanaians.
The minority tell us that the recent 10% salary increment for public sector workers and government's pronouncements or its pledge to pay the DDP coupons, are evidence of the good works they put in place prior to your assumption into office. Do you share in such sentiments?
No, I think that, look, the 10% that you're talking about, clearly, it's not on the high side. It is just because Labour understood the current bad situation of the economy. And note that His Excellency the President had to go there personally and physically partake in the negotiations. Managed to convince him, humble as he convinced Labour, that look, we are facing a serious crisis in our economic situation. Please take 10% and give me the opportunity to turn around the economy so that in the future we can now enjoy. So I don't think the minority should talk of 10% as though it was something huge for Labour. Apart from that, it was the government's ability to organize itself, source funding to settle those bonds. You understand? So it ought not to be taken as though there was money available. If you listen to the finance minister, he was clear that it was the ingenuity of the new government that led to the ability of the new government to settle these debts. So I think that let's give His Excellency John Dramani Mahama the opportunity to have the free hand to run the economy and see how in the near future this will change our life.
And finally, but still on the economy, we also know that some development partners who give us aid have decided to hold back the aid they gave us. It's created a very tight fiscal policy for fiscal position for government, because we get a lot of funds to run quite a number of programs in different sectors, health, education. How is government going to cope with this pressure or this setback of not being able to access these funds that we've been used to receiving? And I'm referring to the United States aid, US aid.
I think that is a critical issue that government needs to pay attention to. US aid is no more going to fund for activities, and some other organizations, including the UK organizations as well. So government has stated that one, to be prudent in government spending, and that is key. In the majority of situations, government have spent money, especially in the past government, spent money without any prudence. So the government say we will cut down government expenditure to be prudent in our expenditure to ensure that we do not waste the resources, the mega resources that are available. Two, government says that it's intent to embark on a drive that ensure that everybody who is within the tax remits pay tax. So there will be an expansion of the parameters of the people who pay tax to ensure that we raise enough funds to be able to make up for the shortfall that will arise as a result of the holdback of aid from the US and other European countries.
Finally, Honorable, we know that also in recent times concerns around health has become topical. CSM is causing a lot of devastating effects to residents, citizens up north. You're a member of parliament from Bongo. What are your expectations in the health sector? What are you hoping to hear from the president with regards to the state of affairs and how he intends to better, health concerns for residents generally in the country?
I think that is a very key. I mean, the health minister has already been on the floor of parliament twice, and then it's stated government position on what it's doing. So I expect His Excellency the President to give us some hope, and especially the necessary funding that is required to enable the health institutions and they take the necessary process to ensure that the CSM does not spread further, and those who get it actually get treated. So I believe His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has a plan.
Thank you so much for your time. Amazing. So you had Member of Parliament for Bongo, Honorable Bawadria, who himself is a lawyer, sharing with us his expectation for today's State of the Nation address expected to be given by the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. We've also been joined by, pardon?
Member of Parliament for Navrongo Central.
Member of Parliament for Navrongo Central, who will be sharing with us his views. Honorable, can you also share with us your expectations for today's address by the President?
Thank you very, very much. Let me begin by saying hi to the good people of Navrongo Central who have sent me here to represent them. What do I expect from the President's address today? I expect hope. I expect a reassurance for the confidence that Ghanaians have reposed in the NDC government led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I expect that there will be a statement on the way forward, what he intends to do in building the country and resetting this country on the right path. You will agree with me that for the past 8 years, our country has been subjected to a lot of decimation. Things are coming together. You see confidence in the business community coming back. You see confidence in people in the agric sector coming back, and all of that. And so I expect that the people will thank the people of Ghana for electing him, and then assure them that nation building is about all of us coming on board and then doing what we need to do to get our country to deliver the jobs that we need, to deliver the roads that we need, and then the health difficulties that we go through.
It's interesting you talk about delivering on job creation. For Labour, another concern they've raised is the mass revocation of appointments and the layoff of some government appointees by the last administration. Some have described it as unfair and not a proper use of state power. What are your thoughts around concerns on the revocation of appointments?
Very simple. That there are processes for employing people. Whatever you use to employ people should be within the context of those rules. And if it's outside of that, then they have to be removed, or they have to sit aside and then allow the whole process to start all over again. It's not as if they've been sacked and that they will not be given an opportunity. It's just to look into how these people were recruited. I am sure you followed the developments at NEIP NAPE. The fact that some of the staff there were not properly employed, and that they dumped party boys on the state who sit at home and almost do nothing. That is not right. Every Ghanaian should be given the opportunity based on merit to be able to apply and get a job. It shouldn't be job for the boys. Otherwise, we are not building a country. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is looking to build a country that will make the best use of our talents, the best use of skills, and make opportunities available to everyone. I think you will not agree that jobs that are meant for Ghanaians who are qualified and experienced should just be given to party boys. I hope you agree with me on that.
Except that I don't know for a fact that they were party people who were appointed. I think they were Ghanaians, but I get.
Yes, they are Ghanaians, and I've heard one of them, their party people on social media saying that yes, it is true. I mean, they didn't appoint them through the right way and didn't even regularize their appointments. I'm sure you would have heard that.
Interesting. But let me come to another issue of significant concern to Ghanaians: the state of our environment. Galamsey is causing, a devastating effect to our environment, the quality of our environment. Concerns are rife about government's effort in dealing with this menace. In fact, people have even petitioned the speaker over the involvement of one of your colleagues in this activity, this illegal menace. What do you envisage would be the president's position as he prepares to give the state of the nation with regards to dealing with some environmental challenges, particularly on Galamsey?
Thank you very much. In fact, Galamsey is something that the nation is confronted with, and is done by big people and small people and all of that. But let's understand that it's an existential issue. Our life depends on the environment. I am a friend of the environment, and as a friend of the environment, I know very well that we need to go back to the point where our environment is restored. We restore our environment back to what it is supposed to be. And the president has said that, during his campaigns before he was elected, that he will make sure that Galamsey is stopped. I was lucky to be part of a gathering, a forum where the Lands and Natural Resources Minister spoke to us on what they are doing to stop the scourge of Galamsey on our environment. Now, I think His Excellency the President will speak on that, and tell all Ghanaians to rally behind this fight, because it's not a fight for only the NDC. It's a fight for all of us as Ghanaians. And I'm sure you yourself, you see the state of our environment, the state of water, our water bodies, the state of the lands and all of that. The fact that it has health impacts, the fact that it has all kinds of effects that will come to burden the state in terms of cost, shows that we need to focus attention on it and deal with it.
Honorable, I'll let you go shortly, but still on the economy, the president described, certain things that happened in the past as criminal activities. He's also gone on to talk about how his government will be handling the IMF. We heard the finance minister doing his vetting about how he also intends to cut wastage from government. I just want your very brief thoughts on the economy, how government intends to generate, significant funding for its major initiatives. You've promised the $10 billion push initiative. You've promised other really capital intensive programs for the Ghanaian people. What should we expect the president to say in a State of the Nation address in terms of funding for his major initiatives, and also ensuring that the economy is managed and all other indicators, inflation, the exchange rate and all other things are managed appropriately?
Thank you very, very much. I mean, the president has demonstrated right from the appointments that are ongoing that he's committed to ensuring that he runs a lean government. And if you look at what he's doing so far, you realize that he's kept the appointments very, very low. It shows his commitment to cutting down public waste. So that will be one thing he will tell us, I am sure he will, about cutting government waste, and also looking at how to generate money from the various sources of funding that are available to government. I mean, there are a lot of things that we need to cut down. If there are areas for example, foreign travels, members of government have been told that you cannot travel on first class or even on priority seats, so you travel on economy because you are working for the state. He has cut down on the number of benefits that are supposed to go to most of the people that are in government. Aside from that, I look forward to him telling us how the agribusiness will generate money for us. I look forward to him telling us how the road sector, road tolls coming back and all of that, how we'll be able to generate money to build our roads, because you know that our roads are very bad. The Ghana Revenue Authority will tell us about the reforms that are going on there. The current finance minister is holding meetings and holding talks with the IMF and all the multilateral and bilateral institutions, the Bretton Woods institutions. I'm sure they will cut down on how much they expect us to pay. They'll give us some moratorium on most of the things, and then we export more, cut down on imports, and I'm sure we'll be fine. But I can't be very specific on all the things that you talk about. I'm sure it will be more on producing more in our country, consuming more of what we produce in our country, and then cutting down on imports.
Thank you so much for your time, Honorable.
I'm most grateful. Thank you.
So there you heard the Honorable Member of Parliament for Navrogo Central sharing with us his brief thoughts around the State of the Nation address expected to be given by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But I've also been joined by Member of Parliament for Ablekuma South, Honorable Alfred Oko-Vanderpoy, who is going to also share with us his thoughts very briefly. Former Mayor of Accra, going to share his thoughts with us on the State of the Nation address and his expectations for President Mahama and his new administration. Thank you for your time, Honorable.
Yes, good morning, and good morning to your listeners and viewers.
Amazing. You've been a significant player in this administration in the first term, and you are now also Member of Parliament. This is the first State of the Nation address by President Mahama, but he's given 4 others in his first term. What are your expectations going into the State of the Nation address today?
Yeah, this is a great day for our country, coming from the backdrop of the fact that the people voted for the idea to reset Ghana, and President have had days to look at this and this new set Ghana agenda. So today, President John Dramani Mahama will reveal to Ghanaians how it was with which the people reset Ghana. In other words, voting for the idea of the reset and the agenda to practically really reset Ghana.
Talking about reset, some Ghanaians are not too happy with how this government has handled the revocation of appointments by the previous administration and have described it as not fair or not reflective of the reset agenda. What do you have to say to comments like that?
Yes, some things were done wrong. So the reset agenda says, let us look at it. What was done? Let us review it, and then let us correct the mistakes. It's a fair deal. So we will review it. They are all Ghanaians. At the end of the day, we will reset it in such a way that people would know that we've been fair in dealing with the situation.
President Mahama described the handling of the economy by the former administration as criminal after having gone through some, documents and other information and data available to him. What do you envisage will be his comments around the economy in terms of resuscitating or revitalizing the economy?
Yes, in coming to the point, the time and the period to decide, that is the election, that the people decided that we are going with the reset agenda. Not possible. We are going with the reset agenda. They have given the president the mandate so that president will look at all the events that happened under the previous administration and now make a decision that will not take us backwards, but taking us forward, in that the practical lives of the people will be improved under this government's agenda, making sure that the things that were happening in the previous years, in the previous administration, will not continue. But today, we will reset everything to ensure that the ordinary Ghanaian is really living as a Ghanaian and living a life that is meaningful, that the youth will get employment, that our parents will get food to eat, that we'll be able to go to our hospitals and be taken care of. This is the reset agenda. So Ghanaians will be happy to being a Ghanaian.
Honorable, finally, before you let go of us, you have former mayor of Accra. You were dealing directly with the local assemblies. We know the challenges with the local assemblies: sanitation, managing their spaces, flooding issues in some places, street lights in other places. What are your expectations around the local assembly and how government can make them more efficient to address the pressing concerns of citizens and residents in the local assemblies?
The reset agenda will permeate into the establishment of the district assemblies, in that very soon we will have our district chief executives. When we have the district chief executives, they will be informed, instructed to ensure that we will reset in all operations. The sanitation issues will be taken care of, the congestion in town will be taken care of, the illegal activities of traders being where they are not supposed to be, and all matters of concern to our public, to our people, will be taken care of under the leadership of our district and metropolitan executives.
You are quite confident in the reset agenda?
Yes, because that is what we campaign on, and the people believed in it, and they gave us massive votes. In my constituency, 72%. They said no, you are fair workable. No, so that must work. It will work. We will make it work. It's a new day for Ghana, and we should all embrace it and let it work for us.
Thank you so much, Honorable Alfred Oko Vanderpoy, Member of Parliament for Ablekuma South, joining us, sharing with us his expectation for the State of the Nation address expected to be delivered by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. According to him, he is confident in government's reset agenda, for it using the Ghanaians or the people of Ghana voted overwhelmingly and gave the NDC a strong mandate in the just ended 2024 general election. But I've been joined by a Member of Parliament for New Edubiase. Honorable, good morning and welcome to Channel 1 TV.
Good morning.
Amazing. This is the State of the Nation address, the first State of the Nation address by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. What are your expectations for the President's address today?
Thanks. Thank you, and thank you for having me. I think the overarching expectation is for the President to tell us exactly what the state of the nation is, as he inherited it, and what he intends to do to reset Ghana in the various sectors, and also let us understand how he intends to fulfill some of the promises that we made when we were running in 2024.
I saw you at the vetting of the Deputy Energy Minister, and you were quite interested following proceedings there. For quite a number of Ghanaians, they are concerned about the state of power, really, power issues. For them, they feel the doomsday, the intermittent power, outage issues are of major concern to them. The minister made it clear that they are working to address the challenge of frequent power outages. What are your concerns around the energy sector, particularly on doomsday and fears that we might be revisiting the really dark days?
I don't think the intermittent power outages we've been experiencing recently started in 2025. I mean, in December we started experiencing this from last year, even before the elections. So this is something, again, we inherited, and we expect the Minister of Energy together with the President and the government to resolve this as immediately as possible, because I mean, we all need power. Industries need power. The 24-hour economy, if it comes into fruition, will need sustained energy and power to be able to realize whatever we set out to do with the 24-hour economy. So definitely we hope that today the President will speak about it and would outline measures that he has taken to resolve these crises.
All right, thank you so much for your time. So you heard a member of parliament for New Edubiase, but very briefly, I've also been joined by member of parliament for Okwaikwe South, Ernest Kion Adomako. You've done quite a number of projects in your constituency already. You've embarked on a really huge educational renovation program in the constituency that's got quite a number of reviews, so many people talking about it. You had a government chair and the Minister for Education there. What are your concerns around education in the upcoming budget, and what do you think the President's focus should be in the State of the Nation address today?
In terms of development in Okwaikwe South, we are really far behind. And Okwaikwe South, we have been giving our mandate to one political party, that is MPP, for the past 28 years. And they didn't see the need to develop Okwaikwe South for us. And then I saw that our educational system in Okwaikwe, especially the educational infrastructure, is very, very poor. So I started renovating some of them when I was campaigning. I promised the people that when I get a nod, I am going to make sure that all the public schools within Okwaikwe South are really renovated and be suitable for education. So that is why I spoke to my father, Manche, and then spoke to my brother and a colleague, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, and we all came together to renovate and then fix, which we have already started. And we have started with the Bishop School. Yeah. So the contractors are on the site working. We need to make sure that our father, the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, succeeds. So we are doing everything possible to support him and make sure that Ghanaians will also have the trust they have in him, to continue to have the trust. Yes. Interesting.
So what are your general impressions around education? You've spoken a lot about your interventions or your initiatives for your constituents, but the general picture, free SHS, is a major concern for a lot of people. People have said that the quality of the free SHS or the tuition in schools has come down. Like you've done, also people have raised concerns about infrastructure. You've taken it personal, you've started projects in your constituency. Should we expect the President to make very bold pronouncements in our educational sector, particularly on free SHS and infrastructure challenges in general for our education sector?
Exactly so, especially with the free education. We need to restructure it. That is why our President promised that when he gets the nod, he's going to review it. And he's not going to do the review by himself. He's going to set up a committee. Parents and those and the stakeholders are going to be involved and make sure that they take the right decision to support the program. It's a good thing, but the implementation also must be good. Okay. So I think I support the review that our President mentioned, and we are going to review it and then make sure that it becomes successful for all of us.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ernest Adoma Kion, Member of Parliament for Okwaikwe South. So Jifa David, members of Parliament here are optimistic that the President's address today will touch on key issues affecting the ordinary Ghanaian, to bring relief, to bring hope, and also to ensure that they are able to bring economic prosperity. These are some of the words the members of parliament have been mentioning to me in my brief engagement with them. I must also add that we've also seen quite a number of other government appointees make their way here in the parliament, into the chamber. We've seen Council of State members Alhaji Mumuni also make his way in here. Council of State Chair Honorable Edward Do Ajaho, who is also a former Speaker of Parliament, has also been seen here in Parliament. So pretty shortly, we'll be expecting the arrival of the President, the Vice President, and then the President, and I'm sure Parliament will begin proceedings and receive him for his first State of the Nation address.
All right, Jude, thank you very much, and I'm sure that subsequently we'll come to you for more updates when the State of the Nation address is started. Thank you so much for that report. So that was our colleague Jude Mensah Duncan giving us updates on the situation in Parliament as we are expected to hear the first State of the Nation's address by President John Dramani Mahama since he assumed office on January 7th.
Yeah.
What are your expectations, though?
Oh, well, I mean, I just say that, and somebody asked me earlier today as well, that the issue is that there's a high voting, like I said, the Ghanaians give the president a strong mandate to say that whatever you have been saying on the campaign trail, we like it, we buy into it, we're giving you the mandate. So come and deliver. So the expectation is going to continue at the SONA that the things you said, are you coming to deliver? Come and tell us what's going on and what your plan is in terms of what the situation looks like and what you're going to do to address the situation. So that's what I expect him to do.
Of course, most definitely. And then we are hoping for a very good delivery and a good state of the nations as Ghanaians as we are. But we'll take a quick breather here and we'll take a look at our entertainment highlights for this morning. When we come back, we'll be talking about in the chest of a woman, and we'll get to find out what is actually in the chest of a woman. Do stay with us.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Ni Komete Kome. Now to our first highlight, and we commence from home because renowned journalist Umar Rusanda Amadou of Channel 1 TV and City 97.3 FM has honored his primary school teachers and headmaster with television sets and monetary gifts in gratitude for their influence in his education. In a Facebook post, he revealed that he personally delivered the gifts to his former educators in Esuchari Junction during the December-January break, describing the gesture as his way of appreciating them while they are still alive.
Well, basically, I am expecting President Mahama not to, tell us what he's done, because he's virtually not really done anything yet, because he's just 50 days in office. So it would be so unfair to compare what he's done in the last 50 days. So he's just basically come to tell us what he inherited.
Exactly.
And so come to tell us the state of the economy, the state of health, the state of the education sector, and the whole lot. That's what he's coming to tell us. He's coming to give us a briefing of the handing over notes that was given to him by the previous administration, and not necessarily what he has done. He will maybe tell us what he intends to do within the next 4 years as president. So when he comes again next year, then he will have the moral rights and authority to tell us what he's done within the last 1 year. So today I'm not expecting him to tell us I've done this and this and no. He's just coming to give us what he was or what was left to him by the previous administration. So for instance, the economy, he has described the economy as criminally handled by the previous administration. Today may be the fine opportunity to give fine
as a rallying point to call to other both sides, the NDC and the NPP, and let the whole country know that we are done with elections. What is left of us now is to build a country, is to develop our country. Let's put our partisanship aside and come together and run this country. Any way we can do this is based on what exactly he has to tell us, what how he speaks to the people of this country. He may be speaking to parliamentarians, but as we know, parliamentarians are representatives of the people. So he's speaking to the entire country. How his posture, how he extends an chief of staff issued a directive for every person who was recruited after December 7 to have those their appointments terminated. How you see, what is the explanation? And gives his explanation for that. But like you rightly said, the president needs to ensure that this speech unifies the country. This speech brings us all together. So that we can go ahead with the development of this country. It's hearing politicians and even regular citizens always reducing every conversation to MPP or the NDC. Whether you are MPP or NDC, whatever you said, I mean, it should come to an end. And it starts with the president and how he approaches it. The president on a normal day has a very calm demeanor. He knows how to engage, but it's not just that. It's also about your actions and what you say. So I expect that the president would reach out the way we want him to reach out to bring this.
So let me come back to you on this resetting agenda, and of course, I mean, the time and again when you hear people from the NDC speak, they make reference to every single change that they come across as parts of the resetting agenda. So how is it important for the president to clarify this resetting agenda so we all have the understanding that indeed this is what he means by this resetting agenda?
Basically, when they say resetting, they are thinking, or the explanation they always give is that moving from the old ways to new ways. So more or less moving from the bad ways to the good ways.
Well, okay, if you clarify it between good and bad, then it makes sense. But old and new may not necessarily mean that the new is good.
Well, the easiest justification they give is, for instance, the reduction of ministers of state.
Right.
They consider it to be part of the reset agenda. In previous administration, first administration Nana Akufo-Addo 120, second was around 88. John Mahama come back, we are doing 60. A campaign promise, you know, and it's part of the reset agenda. So it is the one thing they point to when they say that they are resetting, you know, the system, and that is one of them they look at. So they may have other, you know, things they may want to point to as part of the reset agenda. But for now, what is visibly clear for us to see is a reduction in a number of ministers. Recently, when he saw in some ministers of state, there was a clear guideline that no minister is supposed to do at the first class or business class, but then only do when is necessary. You may also want to point to that as one of the reset agenda by cutting down costs, because the president has said that, you know, they want to reduce costs, they want to cut down costs, you know, so that at least they may also want to tighten their belts and not always ask Ghanaians to rather tighten their belt, and they're losing their belt. And so if they are all going with the flow, it should be the flow. So these may be some of the things they may want to take details of the other things they wish to do to be part of the reset agenda. Apart from these two, which we have seen or we can feel, there may be others the president has not announced yet, and we're expecting that today may be the final opportunity for him to announce this particular reset, you know, thing that the president wants to do, or the NDC, you know, really wants to do, apart from the two that will be announced by the president. But as first said, I'm expecting a statement or a address from the president that first of all calls for unity, because after every election cycle, there's too much, you know, misgivings, too much disunity, too much, and so I'm expecting, you know, this address to be more or less like a unity call for all Ghanaians to come together. Let's work together to make the country right, because the MPP and the NDC, the ultimate objective of these two political parties is to make Ghana right, is to mitigate the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian, is to implement policies and programs that will make the ordinary Ghanaian feel better, feel, you know, good in their pockets. And so it's just that it's one destination but two different routes. That's how I see it.
Very well.
And so if there's unity, the call for unity for all to be on board, and let's get the Ghana that we all want, I think people will accept it.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the former president John Ajekum Kufuor there, see Nana Kunodu Ajiman Rawlings is there. We've seen a former Speaker of Parliament and a member of the Council of State, Edward Do
current chairman of the Council of State.
Current chairman of the Council of State there. So now we see members of Parliament rising to their feet, which gives an indication that also there in the back, and of course the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, also coming up to her seat. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama making his way into the chamber, always beaming with confident smiles, walking all the way to his seat. From here on, we expect that the national anthem will go off. Then, of course, the formalities that precede the processes that will make way for him to deliver his message of the state of the nation will follow. I was going to go into a legal argument with Fred, but I believe it is right that we go to Parliament, enjoy proceedings from there. When we come back, we will look at this legal angle where there are concerns that the Constitution mandates presidents to deliver the current state of the nation and not to make projections.
Yes.
We'll look at that. But let's take you to Parliament. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is in the chamber.
Honorable members, the House is extremely privileged to have the presence of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces in this August chamber. His Excellency, the President is here in accordance with Article 67 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana to deliver a message on the state of the nation to this honorable House. On behalf of leadership and honorable members, it is my privilege and singular honor to welcome His Excellency, the President of the Republic, to this August House. Honorable members, before I invite His Excellency the President to deliver a message on the state of the nation, I shall recognize the presence in this chamber of the following distinguished personalities. Honorable members, we have to prepare for all eventualities. We have definitely, after welcoming His Excellency the President, he is not here alone. He's present here with his spouse, by the name Her Excellency Lordina Mahama. We have the Vice President, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman. We have the Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Gertrude Tokonu. We also have the spouse of the Chief Justice, Mr. Francis Tokonu. And definitely the spouse of the Speaker, Madame Linda Ofosua Obo. We have the Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Debra. And we have a number of our Lordship, the Justices of the Superior Court of Judicature with us here. We also have the Chairman of the Council of State, our former Speaker, Right Honorable Eduardo Ajahu. And we have the former President, always present, His Excellency John Ajekum Kufuor. Honorable members, order, order, order. Honorable members, please, we are recognizing those present. Honorable members, we also have the former First Lady, the evergreen, ever-present, Her Excellency Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rawlings. We have with us the National Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Johnson Asedu Inketia. We also have the National Chairman of the new Patriotic Party, Mr. Stephen Ayensu Intim. Of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Fivi Fiavi Kwete. And we have the General Secretary of the new Patriotic Party, Mr. Justin Frimpong Kodia. We have, as usual, our Excellencies, the diplomatic corps of the various countries in Ghana. Really grateful for your presence. And we have the couples, the heads of the various security services with us. And we have our revered chiefs, queens, and queen mothers with us here. And the various heads of all the religious bodies we have in this country. We'll also have the former clerk to Parliament, Mr. Emmanuel Anyimedu, and the recently outgone former clerk to Parliament, Mr. Cyril Kwabena Oteng Insia. Honorable members, in the meantime, this is the list of the dignitaries that I have who are present here with us. May I now, on your behalf, and with the greatest pleasure, invite His Excellency the President to deliver his message. Your Excellency, you may do so now.
Thank you very much, the Right Honorable Speaker, Your Excellency the Vice President, Your Excellency the spouse of the President, Your Ladyship the Chief Justice, our honorable members of Parliament, honorable members of the Judiciary, distinguished leaders of our security services, Your Excellencies members of the Diplomatic Corps, our revered Nime Name, chiefs, traditional rulers, religious leaders, the national chairmen of political parties and executives, the good people of Ghana, I wish you a very good morning. Mr. Speaker, Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution requires that the President address the people of Ghana in whom sovereignty resides on the state of the nation. About 30 years ago, in 1996, I took my first steps in public service when I was elected to this august House as a Member of Parliament for the Bole Bamboy constituency. For 12 memorable years, I forged many enduring friendships and alliances while working with colleagues from both sides of the House to shape Ghana's legislative agenda and advance the development of our beloved country, Ghana. It has also been nearly a decade since I said goodbye to this House after delivering what many, including myself, thought at the time would be my final address to Parliament. God Almighty, Providence, and the unpredictability of life have summoned me here once again. On the back of a historic electoral mandate from the people of Ghana to deliver a message on the state of the nation. That mandate came with an unprecedented majority in Parliament. And here I am once again to deliver a message on the state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, I wish to convey my heartfelt gratitude to Parliament for the prompt vetting and approval of my nominees for ministerial positions. This efficiency is unmatched in the history of the Fourth Republic, demonstrating the strides we can make when we come together in our dedication to serve the people of our great country. I believe that a similar dispatch will be applied to the approval process for my deputy ministerial nominees. This will enable them to promptly assume office and assist their ministers in delivering our noble vision of resetting our dear nation. In making the nominations and considering the numbers involved, I consider the long expressed sentiment of the Ghanaian people about the sheer size of previous administrations and their associated cost implications. I trust that this significant reduction to 60 ministers and deputy ministers, including regional ministers, will set the stage for further reductions in the size of future governments. In our land. Nestled in a sub-region that is often plagued by strife and political instability, there's a good reason to take sober satisfaction that these successful, peaceful power transfers have become routine. Mr. Speaker, 50 days ago, I took the solemn oath to assume leadership of this country and serve with truth and humility. This was preceded a month earlier by a watershed election that promised to revive our nation's fortunes and give us a new lease of life. The election result gave us an important opportunity to change course and move off the slippery slopes our country had been descending that had caused so much economic pain, suffering, and grief to our people. In their collective wisdom and with resounding clarity, the Ghanaian people chose to chart a new path to reset the country's economy. And through their votes, they made it clear that they will henceforth demand the highest standards of governance from those they put in positions of leadership. The good people of Ghana elected me to office with a historic electoral margin of nearly 1.7 million votes. Separating me from my next opponent, giving Ghanaians the first female vice president, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. For the National Democratic Congress, NDC, that resounding victory is a selfless call to duty from a people who are tired of years of economic hardship and poor governance. That call therefore places an obligation on us and all who serve, including legislators from both sides of the House, to do our utmost with decency and humility to change the circumstances and the state of our country. Mr. Speaker, as I stated earlier, Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution requires that I give an account of the state of our nation to Parliament. I'm sad to report that the state of our nation is not good. Our economy is in crisis and our people are suffering unprecedented. Mr. Speaker, we will host a national economic dialogue on March 3rd and 4th. On March 11th, the Minister of Finance, on my behalf, will present the budget estimates for the financial year 2025 to this August House. Events will allow us to present the real state of Ghana's economic crisis to the people. Mr. Speaker, it is not my style to lament and shift blame when confronted with challenges. Mr. Speaker, it's not my style to lament when confronted with challenges. My approach is to accept challenges and work hard to resolve them. Indeed, precisely what the people of Ghana elected me to do. I have therefore not come here to lament on the state of our country, though there's much to lament about. I understand why I was elected with such high voter confidence, and that is to solve Ghana's problems. With your permission, Mr. Speaker, and within the constraints of time, I'll take the liberty to elaborate on how we intend to address the numerous challenges facing us as a nation. Yesterday, February 26, 2025, marks exactly 10 years since I stood in this chamber, at this very spot, to declare my determination to fix Dumso, a legacy problem of power shortages. And Mr. Speaker, I fixed it. Yes, I promised to fix it, and I did. And I wish to place firmly on record that from January 2016, until I handed over the administration of this country on January 7, 2017, there was no power rationing or load management in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, today, inspired by the Almighty God and propelled by the massive mandate given to me by the goods, we have developed the plan with our people's support.